to meet with Neil Voloshin, the CEO of Cavitation Technologies, ticker CVAT. I am super excited about this. This is our very first in-person guest on the BFC. I couldn't be happier that it is CVAT. And listen, this company is big, all right? They do water purification. They just expanded into Bitcoin mining cooling. And we're going to talk today about the Barmuze, the alcohol purification system. So, yeah, they have the industrial side and they have consumer products for residential use as well. Super excited to see what happens. So, hey, if you like vodka, if you like bourbons, if you like your spirits, your wines, all that good stuff, this is for you. So, we're heading down there now, and let's get to it and do it. All right, guys, I am here with Neil Voloshin, the CEO of Cavitation Technologies, ticker CVAT. And as you can see, we have some goodies here as well. No, we're not going to the Bills game, pre-gaming. We're just doing a good old-fashioned tasting today with an awesome product, the Barmuze. So if you guys have been following CVAT, you know what's going on. Neil, hey, welcome to the BFC. How you doing?
I'm great.
Your flight was good?
I'm in early in the morning, got up at 3 a.m., but, made sure to make the flight. How could I miss Buffalo? I mean, seriously, we're going to go, that's great. Anyway, yeah, well, good to be here.
So tell us a little bit about the product. Tell us a little bit about yourself, your background, and what Barmuze actually is and what it does.
Oh, background. I joined Cavitation Technologies in 2010, 2011. And like any small company, we had to go through a process of learning, develop multiple applications on fluid processing. But at some point, you need to really monetize on things that you do. That was the main focus to do because, a lot of companies came in because technology is really interesting. So at some point, 2011, 2012, the company finally figured out its identity and had the first commercial application to move forward. Meanwhile, what we did, because again, it's our technology is fluid processing, and we'll get back to it. We'll discuss it a bit more. Can we use our technology to other applications? We used vegetable refining, biofuels, but let's just try something. Maybe we can do something funny with alcohol, which we tried. We tried something with vodka. We tried something with cognacs. To our surprise, the taste and quality of alcohol was just substantially improved. Taste is sometimes we look at it, it's a bit subjective, but we could clearly see that, or taste, there is not that much afterbite afterwards. Okay, so let's send some of our products or some samples to several labs. Third party. Let's figure out what the results are going to be like. And again, to our surprise, when we received the results back, there was significant reduction in toxins that are typically found in alcohol. As a matter of fact, distillation process we'll learn, we've heard about it, but distillation is a separate matter. What we do is a change of physical and molecular structure in fluids. So the molecules just burst into nanovapor bubbles. And some of the bad stuff is converted into either CO2 or H2O. And because of that, the taste becomes more amplified. We kind of may call it like instant aging, if it may sound like that. And conversely, the key element to it is hangover. So if you reduce some of the bad stuff in alcohol, that's really what the end result looked like. So that's if kind of we start where it all started.
Well, it's crazy because, in researching your company, you guys have done a lot of industrial work, with the water purification for fracking, for even.
Right.
And to see, and I look at, the lakes, and how clear they look. And now that you're applying this to home appliances and something that everybody can enjoy is really remarkable. And I will say, and I did pull the report, and, when you're talking about the toxins, all right,
yeah,
we're down, no detection parts per million, all right. Acetaldehyde, and I hope I'm saying that properly, 19 to 1. Methanol, 10. That stayed level. Total impurities from 800 parts per million to 246. That's a drastic reduction. This is remarkable. And there's actually a whole report on this, guys. And, I did pull this report too, that basically said there are significant reductions in the overall quality of the alcohol after it's been ran through this Barmuze. Did you really expect these results? Like when you guys first when you first embarked on this adventure, did you really think this was going to happen?
It's one of those things you kind of look because certain things do happen. We can clearly taste. So something is occurring with the product, with the fluid. The level and how impurities change, or let's say reduced. Yeah, it's surprising because it also depends on the product. For example, the most difficult one would be, for example, vodkas. Why? Odorless, tasteless spirit. Probably the more significant or amplified effect would be with darker spirits, for example, like your whiskey, your bourbon, or cognacs, because of aging process and they absorb some of those, additional tastes. So the results in those, I would say, reduction of certain chemicals or byproducts will be greater than, for example, than in vodka. But we have some results that we can also show that what we do with vodka as well, which is rather impressive. So again, if we go back a little bit when we did first initial steps in alcoholic beverages, we used, of course, our industrial size equipment. Industrial size equipment, typically 10 gallons per minute. That's the smallest we could possibly have, just the lightest volume. And obviously in tracking, for example, it's 500 gallons per minute. So,
significant.
It's significant. So at that point, we figured, all right, if our beverages, we can clearly see, now we see results, we do something with it. We clearly taste is different. Can we go, let's say, to a competition and see where we stack up against the rest? In order to do that, you need to get your TTB license in California, ABC license, you need to create a brand. So the founder of the company, who is responsible for all the tech work, Roman Gordon, he's the one who created a brand, put it together. It's called Cameo Vodka. And we put a lot of effort to it. We figured out what the bottle is going to be, where we're going to, the whole enchilada. So he put, like I said, a lot of work into it. So now we have a genie in a bottle. So we figure, all right, what do we do with it next? We send it to probably half a dozen petitions in the U.S. For example, SIP Award. The SIP Awards we received, I think it's in Beverly Hills, received platinum medal. We were top-rated vodka that was presented there. Again, we created vodka, Cameo Vodka. Then we sent it to tastings.com. It's Chicago Institute, it's Beverage Institute. Pretty much every brand in the world is there, and you talk about beers, wines, various type of alcoholic beverages. So that came to a little bit to our surprise, because we were rated 95 points. Cameo Vodka was rated 95 points, and top-rated vodka made in U.S. We're top 15 in the world. Wow. Now, we're looking at that 2013, 2014. We're still there. We're still top 15 in the world,
Wow.
The number one rated vodka made in U.S. I'm going to ask you a quick question. How long do you think it takes us to create this beautiful drink? Time-wise, what do you think we need to do?
Time-wise?
Yeah,
Start to finish. 14 days.
Okay. 1 second. So all you do is you take ethanol and water, mix it, get a decent quality ethanol, you're done. And that's all technology related. So it's just a pass through and we're done. So fast forward, okay, creating a brand and where you go with that. It's entirely different, slate. You definitely need to look into how you do the marketing, all of that.
Yeah.
That it's nice to have a highly rated brand, but just like I said, it takes time. So fast forward, 2018, 2019, we've decided to spin off our beverage division to, it was Alchemy Beverages.
Alchemy
CTI
Beverages,
still retains 20% because we provide certain technologies, certain royalties. So we're not going to dive into all the details, but it's all.
Well, let's talk about the one detail that this is patented technology.
Oh yeah, all of it across the board.
That's huge.
Yeah, 8 patents. We have 6, I think, on process and 2 on technology itself. So 2018, 2019, we experiment with some alcoholic beverages, but we figure the idea was, what if we come back and create a product for home use? In other words, can consumer, bring their favorite brand, process it at home, and feel a little bit better next morning? As a matter of fact, let's say cocktail making, so on and so forth. So our first Barmuze, it was actually called Accelerator, was fairly big. Think of it as like microwave oven put to the side. Big. It was about maybe 10, 15 pounds. And the difference was why we discussed this, why it's important, because our industrial size equipment is running on, whatever our technology does, it has pressure. The lowest maybe 150, 200 PSI, as high as 1100 PSI. Well, in this little baby here, it's, you cannot do more than 100 or 110. So we had to, at that time, figure out, can the low pressure, whatever technology we create, because there's a lot of science and a lot of physics, can we actually do the work? Which the first unit showed us that we can do that. So now we go to lower pressures, something that we can do for home use, and that's was the creation. Then COVID, of course, came in, knocked on the door, everything came to a screeching halt. Then it was version 2, or version 1, we'll call it version 1. Version 0, then version 1. It looked somewhat similar to it, but when we went to look into production, the motor alone would cost us like $100 plus. So in terms of production, it would have been like $300, maybe $350. It's just no go. because retail for this, for example, will go like $4.99 because that's what we want to see Amazon Launchpad. We can discuss it further. But the production cost when we go into initial production will be roughly about $200, maybe $210. Once more volume comes in, we're going to lower it to about $110, $120. So this was OK's version number 2. And what differentiates this from everything else in the past? First of all, it is pre-commercial, meaning that there's still 3D printers, but now we know exactly every part and every component where what has to be done, and including molds. Secondly, it's a smart appliance. In other words, this appliance could be operational through your mobile device. You can, change your time, adjust it to your favor, to your liking. Multiple things. You can take notes. You can order things online. So in other words, you can actually experiment something and personalize it for yourself as far as what you do. So end result, why this product is a bit different than, let's say, from a beverage side altogether. Reduction of chemical or toxins, which we discussed the fact of hangover. Amplified taste. Wine drinkers, in particular the female audience, about 80% of wine buying in the United States is done by women. Reduction of sulfites. We may not necessarily tweak the tasting qualities of wine because every wine is tricky. Let's put it this way. It's different, different than hard spirits. So, there may be some changes to it as well, but reduction of sulfites around makes it a unisex product, not just for guys just come in and just, process, let's say, whiskey. And cocktail mixing, obviously, because the tasting qualities of alcohol are so much smoother. For example, lemon drop. You don't need to put simple syrup in it. Just squeeze a lime and just now you can drink vodka straight up. It sounds almost ridiculous, but the point is, reduction of, look at, for example, at margaritas that are typically pre-made, pre-mixed. About 270 calories because of simple syrup. We can make the same margarita, which is going to taste so much better with 130, 140. So all of a sudden, this is an aspect of something that the product like this would be for. The idea with this product down the road, similar to what Keurig and SodaStream did, the razor and blade. Down the road, version 2 is going to come in with something that the consumer may actually buy their favorite brand, their choice, but then down the road, we may supply them Barmuze vodka, Barmuze whiskey. It's going to be, obviously, not going to have those markups that you have in a store because it's going to be direct to consumer. And then consumer can process and do anything they want with it. As a matter of fact, their product is going to be really, really, really good. Because today, if you look in the industry, other than big brands, private label across the board. It's just a different label being, on the bottle, and everybody represents it's a different story. A lot of it going on. So at the end of the day, this is exactly what can happen. So this product is really for home use. I'm sure your question is going to be, can you use it in a bar and a restaurant?
Well, yeah.
You cannot. You cannot. Because once you pour something inside, you cannot put it back in the bottle. For wines, for example, possibility, but this is really for home use.
I got to follow up because, I was going to go on that route and ask if you could use it, for the bars and restaurants. Is there a way, or is there something maybe in the future where you could actually take this Barmuze and make it like a single serving type of thing? You know how you have like a Keurig, for example, that you can make a pot with it. Like I have a DeLonghi, I can make a pot, but I can also make a cup. Is there something in the works that perhaps maybe down the road you could utilize that patented technology to single serving size?
The way we'll look at it, I'll really look at the restaurant industry. Say cocktails, primarily this is what's done. There's in-house brand, which is restaurants are not going to spend a ton of money. Whatever is in-house brand, that's probably what they're going to stick with. There is not enough time for them to process. What we can sell to them, for example, perhaps our version of alcohol, for example, that's something restaurants maybe like Buffalo Wild Wings. How many stores they have? I think over 2,000. So, for example, how about creating, let's say, Buffalo?
Did he just mention Buffalo Wild Wings of Buffalo?
Yeah.
That's criminal.
But restaurants,
No, I get exactly what you're saying.
And, in effect, they can, for example, create their own brand and call it, let's say, Buffalo Wing Home Vodka or, Fireside Vodka. Here we go.
Fireside vodka.
Fireside Vodka.
That's what we're talking about. The Fireside Vodka.
Right. So that's just branding. That's just how it comes along. So, again, there are two separate segments, spirits and the Barmuze. Barmuze, how came up with the name, it's, again, for SEO optimization. Muse, there's a rock group, the Muse. I love their songs. So I'm sitting there and I go, okay, bar. How do we come up with it? Barmuze. Greek goddess. We make S letter Z, 7 letters for optimization. Oh, done.
There it is.
We sent it out. That's how it was done. We just came up with it.
Wow. It's really remarkable. And trust me, if this was in a place where I could buy it, this would already be in my collection of smart home appliances. That's for damn sure. So the only other thing I wanted to ask you is, are you guys looking to do, and actually I have a couple other things maybe. Are you guys looking to expand and do some other kind of products within alchemy beverages, maybe for water or something along those lines, like for the home, for domestic use?
Similar technology can be used for water, obviously, because cavitation technology does a lot of water remediation. We actually already created a name, not to go far from here. It's called Barmuze. And Barmuze, that was an idea for us, or something, down the road, perhaps move forward, vitamin water. So vitamins today, again, we've been bombarded with advertisement all day long. Hard pills, the absorption rate is fairly low. Gelatin is a little bit higher. Can we create a drink or on the go, something that consumer, for example, can pre-order, have water that we're going to remediate with our device, mix it, because mixology is going to take place at the molecular level, and move on. This is an idea, was something that we're entertaining, but alcoholic beverages was just lower hanging fruit. But down the road, these are ideas that we clearly have.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I don't know about you, but I want to get into the tasting aspect on this. And by the way, I know you guys have a lot of questions, and probably in regards to the stock for Cavitation. He just did a Spaces, so I'm actually going to attach the link to that Spaces below. And you're actually going to be joining me in about a week and a half on the actual BFC Live for a live interview. So, make sure you guys tune into that. But as for now, I think we're a little thirsty. So let's get into this product and try some of the Barmuze production of, we're going to start with tequila, right?
Want to start tequila?
Let's do it. Let's do it. All right, guys, we just ran the Barmuze for the Jose Cuervo.
Yeah. Yeah, we just used it.
And I'm getting excited. This is probably the most exciting tasting we've done on the BFC. But I will say, we wanted to wait because he said the machine ran for about 5 to 8 minutes, give or take.
And you can just you can adjust it anytime you like. But typically, yeah.
And by the way, this does have an app too. So this, like he said before, this has an app feature. But I'm going to stop talking. Let's get into the tasting.
All right, let's do it.
All right, let's taste this tequila.
So here's the one that we've processed. To process this, we're going to go with this first. Okay. And I have some of the original stuff. We're going to go right after. Ready to go? Cheers.
Cheers. Very good. Very good.
Drinkable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's try the original.
And I'm not a tequila fan, by the way. Just saying. That was good.
Do it again.
Okay. All right. Hold up. I did those. So, all right. Afterburn.
Yeah.
I noticed it.
Yeah.
Right when I swallowed it with the original crap. Okay.
This is fairly smooth.
Way smooth.
Yeah.
Way smooth. All right. I'm trying to wrap my brain around this one. Yeah, honestly, guys. When you do a shot of whiskey or tequila like we just did, that first one, and by the way, I get a heartburn all the time, always. I'm that guy that I eat my hot wings, I'm popping Tums crazy. but I gotta say, the afterburn on that is significant. And at first, when you were just pouring those, I'm like, why isn't he having me try the original one first?
It's going to kill your palate. The original is so much harder.
It is harsher.
And by the way, there's no reverse. But once we've processed, that's it. We're done. It's not going to come back to any, the original taste or something like that. That's it. You're done. There's no reverse.
Unbelievable. Love it. That was good tasting tequila, guys. That was excellent.
Do you want to do something else?
Yeah, let's do let's do the Maker's Mark. And listen, I was going to give him I was going to grab the French oak, but I didn't want to give him any leeway at all. We're just going to go basic Maker's Mark, which actually, by the way, I always think is it's great bourbon. I like Maker's Mark.
Good.
This is like a daily sipper. No, I don't daily sip Maker's Mark. Just saying.
We'll
all right. Let's get to it.
Well, now, since we've done already tequila, we're going to go with Makers. So we open up the unit. Pour it back in.
All right, we just ran the maker's mark, as you saw. And what do we got going on here? What are we doing?
Here's this, additional stuff is right here. So
these are the originals.
Yeah. This is
which comes after the good taste.
And this one we just processed. So I'll give you some. Give some to myself. And that is going to be for everybody. It's going to be Happy Friday. For us, it's Happy Thursday. How about that?
It's Happy Thursday.
Here we go.
Cheers to the BFC.
Cheers. Okay. And now we can go with the one that's, the original one. So cheers again.
Cheers. Oh, wow. And I can usually slug them, but when you have something smoother prior, yeah.
Just a little.
You know that the process does something to it, and you could taste it. And I'll be honest with you, I noticed it more significantly with the bourbon than I did
with tequila.
The tequila.
Of course. It's obvious. That's the reason I said, but with darker spirits, there's going to be that's going to be amplified because you just...
That's the original, by the way. That's excellent. Holy shit. That's great.
That's what we do. That's it.
We need
no more bets.
we need to get these in every single home bourbon bar across the United States. I'm just saying.
We're good.
No, this is great. So, I think, guys, you know what? I got to say, this has been the most fun bourbon or booze review that I've done. And anybody that's been with me for a long time knows every week I used to do the bourbon of the week or whatever.
Okay.
But how significant is this? So we've been around a couple years now, and we get to test something that actually enhances the flavor and mitigates the risk of a hangover. So,
hangovers are tricky, because it doesn't come just in one piece, if you know what I mean.
Listen, if you drink a bottle of tequila, you're probably not going to feel too good the next day, even after the Barmuze. Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, but definitely some of the toxins are out, clearly. But, but now you taste it. Again, this is how we come back and say, all right, quite a few people sometimes become skeptical. Come on, it's not going to happen. Well, I just demonstrated for you. So this is purely the technology. This is what technology looks like. All of this is happening right here. This is what's called 8 patents. It may look funny, right? But you know what? All inside, that's what is inside what happens. So that's it. And then quick installation. We'll close it. We're done. Now cleaning is going to be, we're just going to put water in here, run it for a minute, pour it out, and we're done. There's nothing else to do.
It's amazing. It's really cool. And I got to say, in the OTC, it's a breath of fresh air to work with a real company, with a real product, applying real solutions to modern day issues. And honestly, and I see, like I said, all the things that you guys are doing on the industrial side, on the Bitcoin mining side. But this is something that we could take in the houses that everybody could enjoy and make real. And, for me, and you guys have watched me for a long time, I really pride myself in, doing product reviews and really getting into the trenches of a company and seeing what's real and what's bullshit. And I can tell you right now, this is 100% real, and the taste is significant. The taste is different. Dude, I'll be honest. I'll be honest. When I was like, all right, how good and how significant can the difference be? It's very significant, 100%. And wow.
Good. I mean,
crazy good. Yeah, that's crazy good. Neil, this has been awesome, man. It's fun. Thank you for coming out. So I have a couple more questions I got to ask you. So tell us more about Alchemy, the structure of it, and what we have to look forward to a little bit.
Okay. Clean company. We have 16 million shares outstanding. We've gone through a couple of rounds. First round was about $500,000, friends and family. Round A, then went to round B, which we raised a bit more than $1 million. And now the company is fully prepared to go for big financing. I operate Alchemy in a similar way that we do with Cavitation Technologies, although the company is private. We just completed a 2-year audit, which is PCAOB compliant. Again, 16 million shares outstanding, no debt. the company is clearly, as a matter of fact, even share issuance is done by the SEC compliant transfer agent. So no, we're not issuing paper certificates any longer. Those are impossible later to deposit. So I really want to operate the company in a similar way that the public company does business, but we're staying private. So now we're going to go for much bigger financing. This is part of the reason I also was in Florida. Now I'm in Buffalo, which I get to see you and I can have a broadcast.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then go back to Los Angeles, and I have a couple of things that are lined up. But I anticipate that we start working on this pretty quickly.
Yeah, I got to say, I think the product is absolutely awesome. I think so many people would love to have this.
It was interesting because again, kind of like when we made presentation to Amazon Launchpad. And a lot of people are not very much believers because they still think that, we're going to say something that it's not going to be significant. So I had 7-man panel, 5 guys, 2 gals. So we pretty much went through the same thing, demonstrated to them some vodka, some tequilas. And the reaction was similar to what you had with makers. And they said, this product is so novice. When you're ready to go into production, come to us, we'll take you in. So Amazon Launchpad wants to take us, Amazon is tricky because it requires a lot of paperwork. You really cannot fail with them. But my point is from a marketing perspective, because that's how we really want to look into it. That's the direction we're going to go. So the product is ready. We're just going to go and, like I said, raise capital and go into production.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, very excited for you guys. And I want to bring it back to the CVAT because I know a lot of people watching are at CVAT. And you're committed to no reverse split. You're committed to no dilution, no convertible notes. I mean, how are we looking at that?
OTC space. Again, and what I think a lot of people are missing. Sometimes we look at the companies and they're OTC microcaps. Running a microcap is entirely different than, for example, running an NASDAQ company. Lives that we live, for example, access to capital. The last couple of years, there was no access to capital. Horrible. So how do you survive and not falling into a trap, let's say, of some convertible debts or toxic convertibles? How do you still manage to move your business forward? It's a lot of juggling. You really need to do it. And believe me, I had to go through the same thing because about a year and a half ago with CVAT, I cut down my cost by about 35%. Related to something that I could actually chop down because I anticipate that, the access to capital is going to be more limited. I had to really look into it. So all, Cavitation, just forget about the fact of convertibles. I mean, God knows. But let's put it this way. As long as I'm a CEO, I don't see that ever happening. We're not going to take any of the toxic debt. We, again, the company, other than the fact that we have $150,000 SBA loan, that's about it. We're current across the board and everything that we're paying. Again, they were on the company by the book. There are no skeletons in the closet. If you look at it in terms of share issuance, maybe we do share issuance, again, board members, stuff like that, on an annual basis on the last 4 years, on average, maybe 1.5%. So, again, every shareholder at CVAT that I know, pretty much many of them by first name. And part of it because we never had a reverse. I can always look at somebody's in the eyes. Maybe we're not the best business people in the world. You know how that goes, But, I never buried anybody there because, it's typical. Your share fall, you reverse. Now a lot of people are just being buried. Somehow I was able to manage it.
All see too often. You see it all too often in the OTC.
Yeah.
So that's why this is your breath of fresh air.
Well, and I don't anticipate that happening. So there were some, I'll just kind of wrap it up on this. We had an idea, for example, okay, can we roll back, let's say some shares, let's do 10 for 1 reverse. But what we would do then, also take authorized and also reduce it by 10%. Equal, let's say we do 10 to 1, the same thing. Right now we have 1 billion shares outstanding, authorized, and we'll have 300 million issued. So let's say, which not in the books, but hypothetically. Yeah. Now 30 million, but we're only going to have 100 million shares to be authorized. So I will not do, as like I said, reverse, authorized number of shares, and now we're going to print them like they're, it's just not how we run business.
It doesn't make sense either.
And again, running a microcap company is entirely different than even being on NASDAQ and so on. So a lot of CEOs who do it, sometimes we go through really hardship. Let's just put it this way. That's the way we are.
Yeah.
But, listen, our company survived. We've been in business since 2008, and that's the way we are.
As real as they come, the company is Cavitation Technologies, ticker CVAT, trading on the OTCQB. Anything else you want to say to shareholders or potential shareholders right now? Any last words?
Last words. Well, again, we'll look at the companies. So many companies are out there, and anybody can see big tech where we are. Tiny companies.
Yeah.
We know how it goes. It goes in waves. Hopefully, right now, we're entering the wave of where tiny caps, oil companies like ours, are going to start getting a little bit of recognition. This is what I'm hoping for. On the business development side, we do everything we possibly can to execute on a model. And again, if you look at our company, what we do in our core business in water remediation, what we do with alcoholic beverages, what we develop with new technology with plasma, which is going to make and cover multiple applications. I think we're in the right path. Just the rest is just like that execution. The team that I have with the company is there. I mean, these people have been with me for quite some time. I value them tremendously. Without them, again, I wouldn't be able to execute. And, we just expect just to add more people to the company and just move forward. But that's conceptually how we're going to run business.
Right on. I want to thank you for coming up to Buffalo and demonstrating the Barmuze and taking the time to answer my questions and shareholders' questions. And
my pleasure.
Yeah, and we're going to have you on the BFC Live, not this Sunday, but the following Sunday, I think, is going to be appropriate. So
we're good.
And you guys are seeing this on Monday. So I just want to say happy Monday to all you knuckleheads. And so, Neil Voloshin,
right.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thank you. Thanks for having me, Eric.
And remember, guys, there's more that binds us than breaks us. Peace out.
The